Well, we continue with the issue of restructuring and also talk about the failed CCTV project. We have a guest who's joining us from Abuja studios. He's a legislative legal consultant, African Center for Parliamentary and Constitutional Studies, Mr. Emmanuel Ayegbona. I would like to thank you for joining us on Lunchtime Politics.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's begin with the failed CCTV. Good to have you. Failed CCTV project. I mean, how keen should we be with regards to the prospects of this case?
Well, the most interesting thing with this project, we have to congratulate SERAP for taking this initiative. Because if you take a look at our Fiscal Responsibility Act, which was 2007, and then even the Complementary Public Procurement Act, within the Fiscal Responsibility Act, Section 51 gave a room of liberty to Nigerians to remove the burden of local standard, so that SERAP has now exploited this to move to the courts to bring an interesting issue, because the procurement process that led to release of these funds to a Chinese company, and the country got nothing out of it. And it raises also issues of our external and internal debts, where we are paying debts without profile. So I welcome this development, and then since the court has given room for this, let us see how the substantive issue goes. And like I said, it's a welcome development, and it's a clarion call to other civil society organizations and Nigerians as a whole to come up now and own up participatory budgeting and democracy, because the Constitution says, we the people of Nigeria. So that preamble declaration of our Constitution, ownership, that welfare of the people is the essence of government. We have missed it since 1999 till date. So if this is the opening point of liberalization, I welcome this, and then I look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Let's talk about the FOI Act, Freedom of Information Act. We also hear that this was instrumental to this round of success. But if you look at the overall effectiveness since 2011, when it was passed, would you say that it has sort of ensured open governance in any way?
Let me go back to the genesis of those acts. There were three of them: Fiscal Responsibility Act, Public Procurement Act, and then Freedom of Information. We are what the IMF and other world bodies prescribed for Nigeria, because as at the time we were existing from the Paris Club debt, there was no framework of public procurement in Nigeria. And every person lamented that. Then they now prescribe these as policy support instruments. Most unfortunately, we enacted the Fiscal Responsibility Act and Public Procurement Act. We didn't enact the Freedom of Information under Obasanjo's regime then until Goodluck Jonathan in 2011 used that as a political gamble stunt, and then we did that. But since then till now, the MDAs, because of our political culture, have not been able to do what? To live up to that expectation. But so what I'm saying is that the issue is now left for the people to now follow the example of SERAP, because until we, the people, for whatever we are saying, until Nigerians rise up to the challenges of democracy and modern governance, there's nothing that will come out of it, because we have an elitist, exclusive leadership class whose interest is also entrenched in excluding the people from governance. And this is what has brought to bear. So on that score, these legislative instruments are there, and it is now for us to consolidate it, because as at the moment, the Fiscal Responsibility Council is not in existence. The Public Procurement Council is not even in existence. The Fiscal Responsibility Council was only inaugurated through a court action by a civil society organization then. And after expiration of their tenure, it has not been reconsidered up to date. So the Federal Executive Council still awards contracts as at date. So these are issues of procurement, open governance, transparency, and accountability, which has come to bear. And because of the challenges of the day, the roads, energy, and the rest of them, including the CCTV, it is now for us to ask why, how, and what. over our public funds and the expected dividends of democracy, which will come out of it. So that is the issue.
We'll take a break now, and we'll also wade into the restructuring debate. Still to come, Lagos State Governor's first 200 days in office is coming under the radar. We'll bring you details of that and more when we return.